Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to a different type of video today. This is more of a one-off sorts, maybe not. I don't know, it's a wild concept that was completely unintentional, but well worth it after everything was done. So recently, I found myself on a flight out to Billings, Montana, and here's how I got there. Starting off leaving Gainesville, I have a friend who was staying in Midtown, so I decided to drop my car off with them and took the MARTA down to the airport. As I see it, $2.50 is a lot cheaper than airport parking or even taking an Uber. On the way to the MARTA, I stopped by the Publix on Spring Street and picked up some toothpaste. Here's a picture of the MARTA map. As you can see, you take the red line south from Midtown to the last stop. And also, here's a video I tried to take of me on the MARTA, but I couldn't handle the lean to get a good video. So, all you get is a dirty, in-focus video of the window. Sorry. Now we've made it down to the airport. Here's the crazy part. My flight wasn't a direct flight, it was a layover. I flew out of Atlanta, landing in Salt Lake City, which I had a layover for 3 or 4 hours, which I have no footage of. As soon as I landed, I slammed my face with a delicious pastrami sandwich, which I don't have a picture of, but the sandwich was from White Horse. Before my flight out here, I was hoping to get an In-N-Out or some other West Coast only food, but to no avail. The sandwich was good, a little dry near the end. Could have used some extra sauce or pickles, whatever. It was a great sandwich. From here, I boarded and landed in Billings, Montana. The flight was little over an hour, so by the time we took off, we were landing. Once there, I grabbed a quick bite at Jake's Steakhouse. Again, no footage, which I know you're thinking, this is crazy. Why are you even telling us all this if you have no footage of it? Well, I was with some friends and I didn't want to film in front of them. After dinner, I went out to Big Dipper Ice Cream, which I didn't film either. Now you may be thinking, why didn't you do all this traveling and are making a video of this if you didn't film anything you did? And to answer that, the flight wasn't for this. I flew out to visit a friend really quick just to check on him and head home. So back to the ice cream. It was a beautiful shop, really fits the vibe at night. Bright sign, floor-to-ceiling windows, and ice cream. I headed over, asked what they recommended, and what I got was caramel cookie waffle. This personally would have been my first choice, but I wanted to try something new, since I was in a new city, never been here before. With all of that, it was just okay. There weren't many fillings in the ice cream. The flavors were a bit dull, but I do think I would have enjoyed it more with company. Which at that point, my friends had already headed home. So it was just me sitting in front of the casino across the street. Which, I want to add a quick side note to that. Being from Georgia, we don't have casinos just anywhere. So to see a casual casino with not that much business was pretty wild to see. All around town were just tiny Dollar General sized casinos. If I had more time, I probably would have visited one. On to the next day. I spent the first half of the day hanging out with my friends, and I wouldn't see them again till later that day. So around 2-ish, I was free and feeling, unsurprisingly Chinese food. So this is where I decided with the free time I had, I could film a video. In all of this, I was staying at the Northern Hotel, which the closest Chinese spot that I felt looked good was Mia's Walk, which from the Northern was only about a half a mile walk, which at good speed was like a 10-minute walk. So at 2:15, I set out. Along the way, I ran into a fair amount of wall art and fun-looking shops. See here, some good art, a cute sandwich shop, a plain-looking casino, and a movie theater. Which I really loved all of this. Again, coming from Gainesville, we have a lot in Gainesville. It's a really pretty city, and I love being from here. But overall, there are not a lot of little kitschy niche shops as much as I wish there would be. A lot of Billings felt moderately hipster, like Greenville, South Carolina, with what little time I've spent there as well. Along the way, I ran into another Chinese spot, Shanghai Village. The reason I didn't go here was because they had closed at 2:30, which was too close to my getting there. I didn't want to bother them that late. So I kept walking, seeing a fun sign for insurance, Yellowstone Bank. Loved the layout of the building. I thought it was just super cool. I saw a giant building with an eye on it. Don't know what it stood for, but it was there. Finally, I arrived at Mia's Walk. This place was right next to a tattoo shop, which seemed like an awesome day if you love Chinese food and tattoos. You could be in the middle of a tattoo, order Mongolian beef, and chow down during the session. That seems like an awesome idea. The sad part, I arrived at 2:25 and I approached and pulled, yet it didn't budge. On their website, it said they were open till 3. I had 30 minutes to order, but I couldn't. After a sorrowful 20 seconds, I decided I would go to the next closest spot, which was Chow Kitchen. Let's see. From Mia's walk was only about a 2.4-mile walk, which my phone presented to me as a 54-minute walk. Now, to me, in my life, anything less than an hour is close by or only a short amount of time away. So 54 minutes, that's not even an hour. Let's do it. From Mia's walk, I walked down 4th Avenue North and tried to take a picture of every sign on the road that cuts through 4th Avenue. So here's a time lapse of that and the fun signs I saw along the way. We started on North 30th and headed up the road. I missed 29th. I didn't see 28th, which might have been North Broadway, but I got to 27th. Pause on 24th. The first thing that stopped me was Tiny's Tavern. I loved the sign. I definitely want to come back here when I can. In between 24th and 23rd, I hit Billings Park and Rec. Loved the sign. I thought it was cool. And it makes me think of the show, Parks and Rec. After 23rd, I hit Motion Industries. Again, loved the sign. I wonder what the company does. I would love to learn the history of it. As we're moving, I stopped every once in a while to get the scenery of the plateaus. This is a really pretty state. Because I've never been here, this is all just a first time thing, so I loved everything I saw. After 20th, here's an old rusty Jeep. Not sure if it's a Willys or one of the models from the 70s or 80s. Some of the signs were on the opposite side of the road, so I had to zoom in. It's not aesthetic, but it is what it is. Now, here I hit what says to be Main Street, but I'm not so sure if that's it. When you look at maps, you get Highway 312. From here, there weren't any clear ways to get to Chow's, so I walked back down south the street to 7th Street, then on to 6th Avenue North. From here, I saw a pretty wall, really liked it, and kept going. From 6th Avenue North, there was no crosswalk to get to the clearly sidewalked other side, so I booked it. Which to those that don't know what booking it means, that means I ran as much as I could. Once there, I walked up the side road and got a good shot of more plateaus and First Interstate Bank Arena, which that has the same eye as the building I saw earlier, so that's probably what that was. Finally, we get to Aronson Avenue, Aronson, which meets Main Street. Crossed the road and we were in the home stretch. Finally getting to Chow Kitchen, there was absolutely 0 cars in the parking lot. Just as I got to the door, a car pulled up. As the guy was walking in, I asked if the food was any good, which he responded, "It's fantastic," which is a really good sign to hear at this point after walking 2.4 miles. My start time being 2:28 and gained Chow's at 3:26. At this point, the guy grabbed his food and left, and I walked in. I was the only customer there. Since this was after lunch, I ended up ordering the regular sesame chicken meal with a fun side of sesame balls. Here's a quick shot of the interior. This reminds me a lot of Mellow Mushroom on Green Street before they remodeled it. At this moment, I realized I had super low battery on my phone and had 0 water. So I grabbed a water, got my food, and sat at the little table outside. Opening it up, it smelled absolutely amazing. You could smell the soy sauce, ginger, honey, and hints of orange. Starting off with the chicken, the sauce was glistening in the sun, perfect shade of orange, a really beautiful plate of chicken. Flavor-wise, this was absolutely outstanding. The freshness and taste were next level. I truly have never had such a brightly flavored and well-rounded piece of sesame chicken before. Now, I gotta add, as part of my ratings, might have been influenced by being tired and having walked an hour to get here, but I can't praise this chicken enough. It truly was the best. I think the chicken also having such a prevalent forward flavor of honey also made a difference. It was a nice change of pace. In terms of the texture, it had a nice crunchy exterior and a perfectly soft and chewy interior. As for the rice, it was oily and not super flavorful. Now, for the unexpected, those sesame balls were crazy good. Due to the sesame seed coating, you have this perfect crunch like a potato chip and the perfect chewy interior with red bean. I really wish I would have ordered like 100 of them. Listen to the video and see if you can hear how crunchy this is. I didn't finish my food here, so I packed up everything and started back towards the hotel. Like I said, I was at 15% battery and nothing on me but my wallet and my phone. On my way back, I noticed this coffee stall for Mountain Mud Espresso. Ordered a mocha latte, which was fantastic, which is good to hear in terms of chain spots. Here's a clip of me singing the theme from Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest while walking with my coffee, absolutely not spilling a single drop. Walked by a tree, and I got some more nature shots. From here, the walk was a bit more direct, down US 87 and then down I-90. I refrained from using my phone as I didn't need directions since I could see the other buildings next to the northern. I feel that Billings is a weird, hipstery western city that looks like there's probably a lot more cool places I was missing, but probably more than enough things to do when I decide to come back. One particular thing I noticed was the Amity Affliction was performing at Pub, all caps, on 319. This does age the video a bit, but I find that it's wild to see that this spot they play here. An actual pub? Question mark? Is it a pub or is it the name of a theater? I'm not really sure. In Atlanta, I've seen them play in Heaven at the Masquerade. Is that the same kind of venue as here? The pub, all caps, also had a fun hot dog sign. I also liked the post office and this little tunnel from a different hotel. Finally getting back to the hotel at 4:45 and taking 57 minutes, having started at 3:48. When I got back, I grabbed 2 Diet Pepsis from the vending machine and headed to the room to crash. The hotel had no refrigerators or microwaves, so over the rest of the night, I ate the rest of my chicken, which was probably about 2 pounds worth of it, and I finally finished it at 10:30 p.m. Even in late hours of the night, I felt triumph over this dish, and even my last bites in the struggle I had, it was still absolutely delicious. Throughout the video, you may have been thinking, there's no way the Chinese food in Montana is any good, right? And let me just say, yes, it's the best I've had in my life so far. For another question you may have, which is the point of this video, was it worth walking to? And I gotta say, 100%, it was absolutely worth walking 2.5 miles there and 2.2 miles back just for sesame chicken. Now, to my point at the beginning of the video, will this become a series? I don't really know. But I really want to say thank you guys for watching, and if you find yourselves in Billings, check out Chow Kitchen. And also check out Mia's Walk and Shanghai Village. Let me know how they are. Are they worth it? Thank you guys. Hey guys, just want to add a quick disclaimer here at the end of the video. So, after eating 2 pounds of sesame chicken at 10 o'clock at night, I went to bed with my stomach hurting and cramping. And I had to get up at 5 a.m. to fly to Minneapolis, and then from Minneapolis back to Atlanta, and got back in Atlanta around 4 p.m. Didn't eat until 9 p.m. that night. My stomach still hurt, and it hurt for about another day. So I just want to add a quick disclaimer here that if you find yourself in Billings and want to walk around Billings and do what I did, fully recommend it. Just stay safe as on the roads. You know, I had to run across a intersection that didn't have a crosswalk, so fully be safe, or, you know, there are other ways to get around to the area I went to. But just, you know, do avoid eating 2 pounds of sesame chicken if you can, because it will make your stomach hurt. Anyways, thank you guys.